Hi, Editing Uncle John here, or actually I suppose today we can call me Scripting Uncle John, and we're actually talking about computer scripting and not writing a script for a presentation. And it is, when I'm recording this, Tuesday, the first Tuesday in December, and the first Tuesday of the month is New Book Day. And so I thought that I would go over how I deal with New Book Day. I purchase my books from Bain Enterprises, and I generally get every month's output. Right now they are $20, and you can only order them in advance. You can't get them once the month has passed for the monthly bundle price, but you can order individual books off of their website or off of Amazon. And one of the really nice things about Bain is that they provide all of their books completely free of DRM. And one of the things that I really like to do with those books is to convert them into MP3s. So I have already written a script, but the point of this video is actually to go over the methodology for writing a script. So I downloaded the file that the company provides already, which is a zip file, and I've copied it into this book demo directory to demonstrate how this works. So the first thing is that most Linux distributions are going to provide the unzip command by default. So let's just go ahead and use unzip. This is the Unix version of pkzip, which was fairly simply ported over to Linux. And inside of this archive, it actually creates a number of smaller zip archives. Now, one of the things about unzipping zips is that the unzip command expects that you will provide the archive that you are extracting, and then you will provide a list of files that you are extracting from it, or you will provide nothing and it will extract all the files from the directory. And each of these books is going to be in a format of the ISBN number dot something when it's actually extracted. Each of the file names is based on the ISBN number for the books. So we are actually going to want to create a directory for each of these zip files. Well, to do that, what we can do is we can use the sed, the stream editor, and a little bit of shell magic to do that. So if we do ls h underscore star dot zip, we'll get a listing of files. And if we pipe that to sed-e slash going over exactly how sed works is going to be a little bit outside of what I want to get into in this. For now, just take this little command as magic. Okay, but what this does is it actually is going to evaluate two commands on each line, which the ls command is going to split those files into individual lines, and it's going to output them. And so what we're going to do is we're going to write a little for loop. And this expansion here where we use the $sign and then we use parentheses says execute this and take the output and provide it as as a set of things to the shell. So it's going to say for each of those books that I got by using that sed, we're going to do something. And what we're going to do is mkdir $book, and then we're going to cd $book. Then we're going to unzip Now when we use these curly braces, it means to take that with the $sign. When we use the curly braces with the $sign, that means to expand a variable name, but it prevents ambiguity. So if I had just had the $sign book.zip, there is a possibility that I have another shell variable called book.zip, and this is just going to make sure that it's absolutely clear. Done. So this is going to go and I screwed that up because I forgot to step one directory back out. So okay, I screwed that up a lot. We're going to just go ahead and do that all over again, but this time we're going to do it right. And so now in each of these now we have a directory for each book, and in each directory we have the actual HTML files that are in the book, but we have some additional files that we don't really need. And in my finalized script, I actually have some stuff to clean this up. But first, my general concept is that when we're doing something, we want to go as simple as possible first and then add features. So now we're going to go ahead and go into the first of these directories to figure out how we can get these into audio files that we can use. Now, I actually started doing this when I had an hour-long commute to work, and I would listen to the books in my car. And my car only supports a handful of formats, and one of them is MP3, which is the one that I was most familiar with making. So let's go ahead and just go into this Haunted by the Past, which, like I said, just got released December 5th of 2023, and let's see how we would turn that into a book. Well, or into audio files. Well, the first thing that we can do, that you would want to know, is what can actually read the book out to you. And there is a there is a program designed to do just that. It's called Espeak, and we can look at the man page for that to see what we can do with it. So Espeak is a multilingual software speech synthesizer. It does not quite sound like Stephen Hawking, because Stephen Hawking used a DECtalk hardware device to do his speech synthesis, and there's actually a lot of information about that. but this actually sounds like the default voice on this sounds like received pronunciation English, which I am actually quite fond of, even though I have hardly anything resembling a received pronunciation accent myself. But to Americans, it sounds quite posh. So um, the man page is going to tell us um, a number of arguments that we can use. So the ones that I'm interested in are dash -im, which HTML is based on XML, and this handles a different type of XML, which is called SSML. Other tags including HTML are ignored, except the HTML tags such as headings and line items ensure a break in the speech. So that's one thing that we're going to want. And then we're also going to want some output, but we don't want to output to the computer's sound system. We are going to want to output to a file, which we can do that with -w, and that produces a PCM wave file, which you can use on anything, but and by producing a PCM wave file instead of outputting to the sound system, it will actually use the system's complete processor to do this, and it will go fairly quickly. So we can just do another for loop. And for now, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and okay, this is going to be a little bit more magic. This uses the base name command, which can actually truncate file names. So we're going to remove the .htm off of this. In case we have to make any changes to this, we're going to do it this way. Okay, so now we're going to go through each of our chapters, and we're going to use Espeak to create a wave file for them. So this will take a few minutes. Okay, so this is a command argument that I like for the ls command. I use it frequently. What it does is it does a L for long listing, A for all files, which actually we don't need all files because we don't have any hidden files. So I'm going to go ahead and take that back out. Reverse the listing, sort by time, and use the C time instead of the M time, which C time is a change time that is set by the kernel, and M time can be changed with the touch command to an arbitrary value. So for this, I know that nothing nefarious has been done to modify the M time manually, so I'm going to go ahead and take that off as well. That's just another argument that I normally include when I'm doing this because of working on servers in my professional work and often having to do root cause analyses of security compromises. So as you can see, now we have these 10 WAV files, and one of these is the table of contents, which I don't particularly care about, but it's there and I'm not worried about it. So, but I want to convert them all to MP3s, and to do that we're going to use the lame audio encoder, which lame actually stands for lame ain't an MP3 encoder, which it totally is. So we've got some options with it. The one that we are interested in is the actual command line, where we take an in file and we go to an out file. And then because it is computer generated speech and the quality is already pretty terrible, I want to give it the worst possible bit rate, to make the files as small as possible, because it's not going to matter. So if we set the quality to the quality actually doesn't matter that much except for encoding speed. So if we set the quality to 4, that will give us a much faster encode. And the bit rate to 32. So we'll go ahead and use this for the same loop, but we're going to modify it a little bit. Instead of Espeak, we're going to do lame -Q4, which is the lowest quality that doesn't have substantial degradation, and -B32, which is going to introduce a lot of degradation, but it's going to go very quickly. Okay, then we're going to do chapter.wave. I screwed that up, so I'm going to cancel back out. Okay, so Okay, so we're actually using the original listing to do our chapter thing again because we already wrote this loop. So now we go through and we're going to take that out file off. Okay. Oh, that would explain it. I screwed up my command by missing a space. And so as it goes through this, it's very fast, and I'm actually a little concerned about just how fast that was. Let's see what our actual file that we were encoding is. Okay, let's go ahead and actually listen to one of these. So actually, this is demonstrating something that I had mentioned earlier with the difference between M time and C time. So these files are showing a M time of November 4th, which is when they were put into that zip file at the publishers. And the time that it is on my computer right now is actually December 5th, nearly a month later, or actually over a month later. So I'm going to use the MPlayer program to listen to these, and the computer's actually a little ways away from me, so my microphone might not pick these up the best, but let's go ahead and do that anyway. So I screwed up on my first loop where I was creating them. So okay, so this should have actually taken a lot longer than it did, which I forgot an argument. So I'm not perfect, but this is actually part of the process. Because as you practice and learn, you're going to make mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes, unless you make the wrong mistakes. You should know which mistakes are going to be harmful and which ones you're just going to have to run something for. So this is going to take a few minutes, which I should have been suspicious at how quickly that other one did. And now we can go back and do our MP3 encoding again, which it did make a valid MP3 out of those. And now you'll see that things are going much more quickly. Well, they're not going quickly. They're taking a lot longer, but the duration on my files is also considerably longer. So, like, these are several minutes, and it's going at about 90% real time, 90 times real time, and my computer is old. So This is actually pretty good. Um, but this does show you why you should check your work when you're doing things. If you have a more powerful computer, this probably would go faster on it. The Espeak package is available in Windows, but I'm not particularly familiar with scripting in Windows. But there is an excellent subsystem provided by Microsoft called the Linux subsystem for Windows that lets you install a complete Linux system inside of your Windows machine as a virtual machine, that I find very useful both professionally and for stuff that I do for myself. I'm just a lot more comfortable in the Linux environment than the Windows environment. I've done a lot more of it, and at many times in my life I've just gotten extremely frustrated with Windows. And quite frankly, it lets you hold on to your computers a lot longer if you are willing to suffer some mild performance problems from the age of the computer, because it will still run a lot longer. This computer has 12 gigs of RAM. The least powerful computer that I'm using has 2 gigabytes of RAM. I've actually got two with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and so this has done 5 of the 10 files that I was expecting, and it's doing them fairly quickly. It takes about a minute, and so now we've kind of got a workflow together, and as I was mentioning a little earlier, I actually have already written a script that does all of this, but it's really good practice to write this yourself. And one of the really great things about doing it yourself is that if you get your books from a different manufacturer, different publisher, then this is not necessarily going to work with my script for how you get your books. I have to do things a little bit differently when I get books, like, for example, from Project Gutenberg. This should be finished fairly quickly, and this is a lot more like what I was expecting an encode to take. Okay, we're on chapter 7, and we're just expecting to get to chapter 9, because chapter 10, because of those underscore characters, was actually the first one that was done. So probably about 2 more minutes on this. So yeah, 25 seconds for this one, and I don't know how long chapter 9 will take. But let me know how you feel about this Linux content, and I will try to do things that don't necessarily take such a long amount of time to actually do processing. But this also shows, that you can, even with not that powerful of a machine, you can do really useful things if you can leverage some automation. And and if you check the arguments of your stuff. Actually, from doing this, I am going to make a few changes to my finished script, which I call my book reading script. I'm going to go ahead and make some changes. So the way that I have it set up, I actually have it set up to grab that the file name schema for the months, and then just unzip each month one at a time, and then it creates my book directory, and it's got a okay. So some of this is actually kind of orphan code, and it's been a while since I've run it. This part here deletes the files that this deletes files that I don't want. This deletes the image files. Anything that does this deletes anything that doesn't have an underscore in it, and this deletes also. This first line also deletes the table of contents and any files that start with a capital letter, because those are files that I'm not going to want to have in my final MP3s for my car. This is actually creating that chapter name, and then doing some more work. Okay, so this this just checks if I have any yeah, this didn't really work, and I should probably remove it. Then we've got actually doing the chapters, but instead of doing each file as a WAV file and then doing each file as a MP3 separately, I do them at once, and I set an ID3 tag, and this is not a default program, but you can install it through a package manager, and there may be different programs that you use to set your ID3 flags. Read the man page on the one that is with whatever distribution you're using, and then I actually delete the HTML file and the PCM WAV file, because the HTML file is no longer useful, and if I have to terminate the encode, then I want to kind of just skip over that. And then the WAV file I delete because they are large and it's been encoded, and then I change back to my base directory. So this is basically a formal way of doing everything that we did. So we just go ahead and extract out of that, and I actually use a temporary file in this as well, which is not the very best coding technique, but it's very easy to write. So if you would like this code, I guess I can go ahead and try and post it somewhere, but I don't have anywhere convenient to post it right this minute. But I think I can put it. No, I don't want to put it in a comment in the video, but I will look into some place to put this, or if you know how to contact me directly, do so, and I can set up something that is going to be more temporary where you can get this. Or just do it yourself from what I've had. Just read the man pages, and this is actually quite a simple automation that you can do yourself as a practice exercise. And I am going to shout out Bain. They're not paying me. I just really love their books, and I've spent a lot of money on them. They have their monthly web subscriptions. You can buy individual books. They're available in a variety of formats when you purchase them, all without DRM. So you can put them on any type of e-reader you like. And they have free books on their website under their free library, and they're kind of adding to those frequently. They've got some really great authors that I enjoy a lot, and so like I said, I'm not getting any money from them, but I really love the product. Also, Project Gutenberg has some great stuff. One downside of Project Gutenberg, though, is that their books are typically all in one file, and so you're going to get like when I did a Princess of Mars, it wound up being a nearly 6-hour MP3 file, which is just kind of redonkulous. So, well, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day, and let me know if you would like some more of this type of content. Thank you very much, and I already said all that. Bye.